Hello, Odac fans, and welcome to another Odac feature on odaconline.com. As I say Odac for you three times there, but we got to make sure you know what we're talking about. And today we bring you something special again as we have an introduction for you. My name is JJ Neckloff. I'm the Associate Commissioner with the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. And today we're joined by Lindsey Burke, the head women's basketball coach at Randolph-Macon College. Lindsey, how are you doing today?
I am great, JJ. Thanks for having me.
Very cool. So I know you came on the scene a little bit in the spring last year, but give yourself the Odac introduction right now. Tell us who you are and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Lindsey Burke. I just most recently spent the last 3 seasons at the University of Rochester in Western New York. Before that, was on staff at Bucknell University for a year, and actually got my coaching career start at nearby Mary Washington, so not very far away from Ashland at all. Spent 3 years there. Right after I graduated from Mercyhurst University, was a 4-year Division II player there. But I am from Buffalo, New York originally. So I am very happy to leave the snow for sure. I welcome some Central Virginia weather for sure.
It's the same reason that I moved down here too, because I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, so I know all about that snow belt that you're familiar with.
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about, as we take a look at you coming on last spring and really getting your feet wet at Randolph-Macon. What were your initial thoughts on taking over the head coaching job at Randolph-Macon for the women's team?
For sure. I mean, I felt like I had a very good base knowledge of the school, and even the area from just living in Fredericksburg for 3 years, from 2013 to 16. So I felt like I was very comfortable taking over. The crazy thing about my interview process, never came down here, never even Zoomed or Skyped with anybody, did absolutely everything over the phone. But in
Wow.
hindsight, it really spoke to how much at ease I felt with coming here, and just the authenticity of everybody I talked to, that I didn't even feel like I needed that face to face. Like, I was sold and completely on board, just from having phone calls with other coaches, with Jeff Burns, with President Lindgren here. Just felt like a place that I could absolutely just hit the ground running as soon as I started.
Now, talk about though once you got on campus after the whole process. I mean, was everything realized from what you thought it would be? I mean, the first time you came down there to tour the campus to see what you had going on, and then your early interactions with the squad. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So technically, I started May 1st. My first time getting my feet on campus after moving here was mid-July. Everything with COVID really has delayed a lot of stuff. But everything happens for a reason too. I'm so happy and thankful to be here. But my interaction with the team has been incredible. They have been really welcoming, open arms. They're just excited about the program. And they really just love Randolph-Macon women's basketball, even with all the alums that I've talked to. They just feel like it's a new era of women's basketball at Randolph-Macon, and they're so supportive of me and my endeavors here too, and just want to continue to really support the program. But so my early interactions with the team were really all virtual. I mean, we did individual meetings. I met with all of the incoming first-year players and their parents on Zoom. And so we really kept up those like team weekly Zooms throughout the summer. And then now we're just about at 60% of our team is here. We did a staggered move in here at Randolph-Macon. So RAs, international students came first, then freshmen came, then seniors came, and then sophomores and juniors will come next week. So it's felt like a little bit of a lag time to get everybody here, but also it was a very good administrative decision to stagger our move in. I think it's really helped with us easing into this school year instead of everybody showing up at once. But my transition has honestly been as seamless as I think it could be. I think the players really have helped a lot with that, with just being kind of so on board with helping out with anything I need, just generally talking about the program, about culture, about what we want to do this fall, about what we want to do this season. I think it's the absolute perfect group for me to have right now.
Very nice. And before we get into that a little bit more, I'm going to tease folks and pause for 15 seconds for a word from one of our sponsors.
With over 100 local offices, Virginia Farm Bureau agents are part of your community. If you want insurance from a company that knows you, get to know us.
Thanks to our friends at Virginia Farm Bureau Insurance, one of our corporate sponsors that helps us do new things, including our big basketball championship that we normally do. And who knows what that's going to look like in COVID world. But you started to get on that track with us here a little bit, talking about your interactions and introduction to the team with COVID. How has that affected you coming into your first head coaching job as well? Just, what is the difference with that, and how has that changed or maybe change just the way that you're giving your message to your team? What is that culture that you want to build with your squad?
Yeah, definitely. I think the one thing that this has done, it's made me really relate to them in a lot of ways. I have told them that I never thought my first head coaching job was going to look like this. So just as similar as they never thought their freshman, junior, senior, whatever it is, was going to look like this, I feel like I can definitely empathize with them a little bit, that I never thought this is what it would look like when I took over, at a school. I mean, we had nobody here on campus when I first got here. I mean, we didn't even have visitors on campus for, a good month and a half when I first got here. So
right.
I can definitely empathize, like I said, a little bit with them about this is just not what we all thought it was going to be. But in just kind of speaking to your second question there, it has just taught us, I think, a lot of resiliency too. I mean, I try to tell our players, you just have to live in today, because I think we've all felt a little bit of like the COVID effect of, is this going to happen? Like you can't plan anything a couple weeks in advance these days. Like I have told them, just get your 2 feet back on campus and worry about keeping them here. The other stuff, we will figure it out like as we go, but like we have to, kind of get it together first before we can worry about anything else. So I think they're just really excited to be back on campus, honestly. Their worlds were flipped upside down a little bit in the spring. And so I think they're just happy to kind of get back to normalcy.
The whole athletic world is flipped upside down, but hopefully and eventually we're all going to get back on the court. So let's get into the nuts and bolts here right now. When we see Randolph-Macon hit the floor eventually, what should a Lindsey Burke coach team look like? What do you want to hang your hat on with your squad?
Yeah, I really pride myself on a lot of discipline, fundamentals. I like to do what we do and do it well. You're not going to see a team with a whole host of gimmicks. You're going to see a team that challenges to beat you in the quarter court. I'm really big on defense. I think your defense is something that you can have day in and day out. Offenses tend to fluctuate. I like to play up-tempo. I wouldn't call it fast. I think fast gets a little out of control sometimes, but I like up-tempo with structure. I've always told our players that, I want them to know the why behind what we're doing. And if you don't know, please ask, because I want them to be able to articulate our system and our style to other people. If they don't know it, then I haven't taught it that well. So they'll feel that with the discipline and fundamentals, I think that I'm going to bring to the program, and that we're definitely going to play with that kind of style. That just being almost like a well-oiled machine, I don't want to have to puppet them out there. Like we have to build the fundamentals first, and then they can play, with some free flow.
I love that message. Absolutely. And I think that's going to serve you well coming into a conference as large, as competitive as the Odac here as we wrap up. Coming in from a fresh perspective, a truly fresh perspective, what is your take on the conference? And eventually when we get out there, I'm not sure if you had a chance to do any advanced scouting or whatnot, so just cursory from afar, what is your take on the league?
Yeah, I mean, it is super competitive. And that is something that really attracted me to this position. Obviously being in the CAC and being pretty close, at Mary Washington, we got to play a lot of Odac opponents, even when I was there in our non-conference. My take on the conference, though, is that that competitive piece, it really spans, and that it's anyone's day on any day. You definitely see that in the Odac tournament over the past couple of years. It just makes me feel like we always need to be ready and we always need to be on point. The other thing that the Odac has kind of proven to do lately is take Rochester assistants and make them head coaches. Myself, Melissa, Shenandoah, and Liz down at Virginia Wesleyan, that's becoming its new calling card. I'm just kidding, but
you're not wrong though.
Yeah, I didn't even, because I've just been friends with them for so long, I didn't really put that together at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, we all came from Rochester, ended up here.
And of course, Melissa has won a title 2 years ago, so good pedigree coming in. So I know Liz wants to do that. I know you certainly want to do that. And we wish you the best of luck once we're able to take the floor here in Odac women's basketball.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, folks, that was Lindsey Burke joining us from Randolph-Macon women's basketball. We appreciate her for joining us here today, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time on OdacOnline.com.